Hi guys, this is Ranjit, and in this video we'll be having a look at this Moto Razr 40 Ultra and even the regular Moto Razr 40. And I have actually, Motorola had sent me a bunch of units. Actually, this Ultra comes in 4 different colors. They had sent us the 2, the black one and even this new color one. This is the Halo color one, the Pantone one. I didn't open this one, but I had opened this one and have used it for the last 3 days. So I'll also give you my initial impressions. In fact, also did travel to another city for 1.5 days, and I was carrying this smartphone. So I'll share that, and we'll also talk about the regular, Razr 40, because I feel this might be the most affordable flip phone that will be launching in India. So before I talk about my impressions, what do I feel about this Ultra? The big thing about this Ultra is this massive outer screen. This is actually a 3.6 inch screen. If you remember, the original iPhone actually had a 3.6 inch screen. Yes, of course, in a different aspect ratio. In fact, Motorola has a this is actually acting like a second screen, and you can do a lot of things on this one. I'll show you. In fact, I use this outer screen a lot on this smartphone. But this is the box that it comes in, and as I've told you, this is the new magenta color that they have. So let's open this up, and again, this is sort of the flagship, the Ultra of Razr 40 Ultra, and let's open this up now. And so here is the device itself, and of course, so let's open this up. Okay, so this is it. So I would say dark red maroonish kind of a thing, and this one is actually having a feel. This is very different. This is like very smooth glass. Of course, this is Gorilla Glass Victus on the black color one. This one, the feel is a little bit different. This gives that vegan leather kind of a finish to this smartphone. So here is the device itself. Of course, it folds, and so if you open this accessory box, I'm glad that they did this, because generally with these foldables, finding a case is very, very difficult. So you do get a case in the box. As you can see, this is a plastic kind of a case that you get, so you can attach this to the phone like this. So it's sort of a bumper case, I would say. It does not add any heft to the phone. The front portion is actually, let me just show you. For the cover screen, this is actually hollow, so acts like a bumper case if you just apply it. And again, this is also color coded, but the back one is solid, so this will actually protect your device. So you can definitely use this like this, and simply does not add that much of bulk. We do also get a charger in the box, and it's a USB type A to type C connector that you are getting in this one. And but the charger is slightly higher rated, but this will charge this device at 30 watts, and also wireless charging is there. That's up to 5 watts. So that's what we get. SIM ejector tool and all those things will be there. So that's what we get in the box. So let me keep this to the side, and let me give you a physical overview first. Okay, let's go with this one, because I've added the case on this one. This is actually a fingerprint scanner, the power on off button. So if you just tap in, it will unlock even this area, that's the outer cover screen. And I like the fact that the outer color, this screen is also actually 144 hertz. Of course, it's an OLED screen. And as I've told you, you can install whatever apps you want. As you can see, I've installed a bunch of apps. You can just go over here like this and select whatever apps you want. If you just check mark, those apps will actually come here. For example, I've added that, and if I do this, now that speed test came, you can use it. It's great for Twitter, YouTube stuff, and like that I'll show you. So this is the outer screen that you're getting, and let's just open the device. And on the top, we do have the volume rockers up and down. Again, the build quality is good on this smartphone. This is that Power Plus fingerprint scanner. On this end, nothing. Bottom again, speakers. Of course, this does have stereo speakers, as you expect. Your the Type-C port, and this end actually nothing. And this is your SIM slot. Do remember, guys, one SIM slot, that's the nano SIM, is a physical SIM. The second SIM will be a eSIM on this device. Coming to the cameras on this one, if you notice, we do have two cameras. The main camera is actually a 12 megapixel. This is a Sony sensor f1.5 that gathers in a lot more light, and the second is a 13 megapixel ultra wide. Moving to the internal camera, if you notice, this is a punch hole kind of a camera that we are having, and this is a 32 megapixel. Now moving to the internal screen, again it's a foldable, so you fold and all this thing. This is actually having one of the biggest, I would say, a 6.9 inch screen, and the thing is that this is actually 165 hertz refresh rate. Yes, not 120, not 144, but 165 hertz. As I've told you, I've used it now for almost 3 days. The battery life was actually good on this one. And again, typical Motorola stuff that you get clean experience, no bloatware or anything, and they didn't try to change a lot of menus from the stock Android. Even the toggles are resemble very close to the stock Android. So that is the same thing that you are getting on this device also. Of course, it has all the features like NFC and all those things, wireless charging, as I've told you, and all those things are there. Wireless charging, but it's only 5-watt wireless charging. Okay, the thing, if I go here, if I go to display, let me just show you. And of course, if I go to display refresh rate, it's set on high, so automatically moves up to 165 hertz. I feel they should have also given one more option to limit it up to 120 hertz, but that's what it is. And again, it's very, very smooth to operate. Again, you will not notice any lagginess or anything. But even the front screen, as I've told you, by default, if you don't unlock it, it will be like this. It will show you your clock. You can actually customize this, and your notifications you can access from here. And if you just press this, it will also show you the battery life left. But if you want to do more, you can just unlock it with your fingerprint screen, and now you have access to all this. Again, as I've told you, you can invoke your apps like this. In fact, this is pretty functional. For example, stuff like WhatsApp and all those things, I didn't have to open the inner screen a lot of times. I was doing a lot of stuff directly from this one. Another thing that I like is that as it's a, what do you say, foldable, flippable phone. For example, I like this functionality. For example, let's just go to my own videos so that I don't fall into copyright issues. Let's open this one. Let's say you're just watching this video. I'll lower the volume, and let's say I just flip it like this. So it gives you an option, and if I click here, it'll start playing on this screen like this. And I use this a lot. As I told you, I was traveling for about 1.5 days, and in airport I was actually watching a lot of videos like this, and it was a good experience. Even on the airplane I was watching it like this, and it's a good thing. And you can also tilt this like this on an angle. For example, you can't see, yeah, it's like this. So it can act like a stand. So that way I would say the outer screen is very, very functional on this smartphone, and you can do almost, it's like a mini, what do you say, smartphone. And again, I'll just pause that. So again, background also it works, and you also have some of these stuff. For example, your calendar app, these are sort of widgets. This is the weather widget and all these things. This I also customize. You can also customize this, and you also have Spotify on this one. So again, these are some of the things, but again, this is very, very functional. In fact, you can also do gaming on this one if you really want. But again, I would say this has to be one of the most practical outer screen that I have used, and that makes a huge difference on a flippable, because most of the other flippable phones that I've used earlier, you would always have to actually open it up to use it, but here it's not a case. And many times you just get a small notification or a WhatsApp message or something, and you can just directly tap here, look at it. If you want to reply it, you can also click on it and reply it and get the job done. You don't have to open the phone all the time. So that way I would say that is implemented very, very well. Also, in terms of the build quality, this is really good. This is that though this is Gorilla Glass Victus, again, it is not attracting the fingerprints and all of those things. Again, this is slightly different. This is having that vegan and leather finish on this magenta version that we have. So a lot more grippier, I would say. and I didn't set this up because it will be the same thing as this one. So this is the Ultra, or the 40 Ultra, I would say. And again, as this is sort of the flagship in the Motorola lineup of the these flippable smartphones, this is priced at about 90,000. But as of now, if you have ICICI bank offers will be going on for this one, you get a 7,000 rupees flat off, so you can get it for about 83K. So this is the Ultra. I'll show you the camera samples also, because I've taken quite a bit of camera samples from this one later on. But let's also talk about this another interesting phone. This is the Razr 40. And if you notice and it's very similar to this bigger brother, or I would say Ultra. The big difference is, yes, the outer screen on this one is a lot smaller. This is just a 1.5-inch screen, and again, yes, to cut down the cost. And I think so the cost is the big deal about this. So first, let's talk about the pricing of this one in India. This Razr 40 will be sold in India for 60K. That is the regular MRP price. But again, even on this one, there'll be like ICICI Bank offers, so you'll get instant 5,000 rupees off. So you'll get it for 55,000. And I would say for that price, if you always wanted the flippable smartphone, we generally know the flippable smartphones are very, very expensive. Again, that's why I was saying this might be the most affordable flippable smartphone that will be available in India. And now let's talk about some of the differences between this one. The good thing is that the inner screen, even on this Razr 40, is again the same 6.9-inch screen, so that way it's very good. The only difference is that this is a 144 Hz screen, this is a 165 Hz screen. But again, 145 also plenty of, I would say, very, very smooth in animations and all this. Again, no lag or whatsoever. This is economic times, a very heavy side, and as you can see, no issues. Another thing that I like on both these devices is that, at least in India, they'll be coming in one variant, and both of them will be having 256 gigabytes of storage. So that's a good thing. Both have 8 gigabytes of RAM, and again, and both of them, I found that the RAM management is very, very good. Another big difference, as you might expect, is the processor is changing compared to the Ultra. The Ultra has the Snapdragon 8 plus Gen 1, whereas this one is having the Snapdragon 7 Gen 1. In fact, we haven't seen a lot of smartphones in India with this processor, but again, it's a very good processor. I would say successor, it was the successor to the Snapdragon 778, which was actually a very good processor. So again, I didn't play around with this one a lot. I just played it a couple of hours, but again, this was a very, very smooth to use, I would say, and it's a good processor. In fact, the battery life will be better on the regular Razr 40, because in terms of capacity, this one is actually having the Ultra is having a 3,800 milliamp hour, whereas the regular Razr 40 will be having a 4,200 milliamp hour battery. As I've told you, I've used this Ultra with my primary SIM for the last 3 days, but the battery life was a surprise to me. I was also very, very worried. Let me actually show you. Right now it's on 13% battery left. I didn't charge it intentionally because I just wanted to show you real world life, and my primary SIM is in this one, and of course 5G and all these things working. Even when I was in Chennai earlier, 5G worked. Here also 5G works and all those things. But let me just show you the battery life, because that is the thing that actually surprised me. If I go to battery usage, it's at 13% right now, and it's off the charger for the last 2 days. So the standby life is very good. That way, I would say the Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1 is optimized like hell. The idle drain is very, very low on that processor. And if you look at the screen on time, it's 3 hours 24 minutes. But I feel this is slightly wrong, the screen on time, because it should have been a little bit higher. And I think so. The Android OS is not counting the screen that I'm using outdoors on this screen. And in fact, I have to say, I might have used at least 1 hour or slightly more than 1 hour on this outer screen. So I would say for 3,800 milliamp hour, the battery life is actually pretty decent. In fact, when I was traveling, I didn't drain it completely within a day, though I was completely on mobile data that is on 5G. So that was a big surprise. I frankly thought that 3,800 milliamp hour battery wouldn't be sufficient, but I was wrong, because once you start using this phone intentionally, you start using a lot of functions on this external this outer screen, and you can get a lot done. So you don't have to open this phone again and again, and that's a big trump card, I would say, making it this a very very practical what do you say flip phone. So certainly pretty good. But again, we can't forget about the regular Razr 40. This is also a very very good phone. Particularly I would say if you always wanted this flip form factor, and we know the flip phones are very very expensive, and you really want to what do you say this flip form factor phone, you can have a look at this Razr 40. Now again, cameras, as I've told you, cameras, again, the camera UI, I won't spend a lot of time. A typical what do you say is Moto camera interface, tap to focus and all these things. You have that ultra wide, and we also have the second camera actually works even as depth and macro, so you have that, and portrait stuff and all this thing. Front facing is supposed to be that 32 megapixel. So let me do one thing, let me actually show you some of the samples with this one. First, some outdoor shots. This was the regular shot, and this was ultra wide. I like that even in ultra wide there is no distortion. Another example, this is Chennai airport regular shot, and this was in ultra wide. Some casual shots that I have taken around the Chennai airport in varying light conditions. These were taken in my office in indoor lighting conditions. Even human skin tones were produced well. This was regular shot, and this was in the portrait mode. Again, this was regular shot, and this was taken in the portrait bokeh mode. Now these samples were taken with the front facing camera. Video with the Razr 40 Ultra's rear facing camera, and I have actually set it to 4K, and this is in the normal mode. We also have a further more stabilization option. The good thing is that at least in the preview, though it's a very bright day, it's not overblowing the background. And I'm just going to walk, so this is 4K footage while walking. Recording the footage with the front facing camera, and the good thing is that the front facing camera does support 4K video recording. By default it was full HD, but I've kept it to actually 4K, and I'm just walking like this to give you an idea how it does for video recording with the front facing camera. Remember guys, this is the front 32 megapixel camera, but you can also use the main more superior, I would say, 12 megapixel Sony sensor by flipping and doing the video recording also. So guys, this was the Moto Razr 40 Ultra and the Razr 40. So what do you guys feel about these flippable smartphones? Do let me know in the comment section. And do you think the Ultra with this outer screen, the massive outer screen, makes a lot of sense? Because I have to say, when I was using this phone for the past 3 days, I used the outer screen a lot. Anyways guys, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. This is Ranjit, and I hope to see you in my next video. And guys, if you haven't subscribed to this YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. Anyways guys, take care, catch you later.